Fresh 10-man straight off the press. But today we have a whole bunch of matchups between universities. DMU versus Hull to kick things off, and then at 9 we will have Exeter versus Warwick. I am Rook, and I'm joined by Koopsy for our first map of the night.
Hello guys, I'm looking forward to casting some Valorant today. I hope you guys are ready to get started.
Indeed, our first map of the night will be Bind, as we did see the others get banned away, as DMU and Hull. Definitely an interesting matchup to start things off. These are two universities that have been around in the esports scene for a long time, especially in shooters. I've seen them kind of kicking around, so I'm excited to see how they're going to match up against each other.
Definitely, Warwick, always a strong side, really strong esports history. I'm excited to see how they transition into Valorant and if they can pick up a strong side. They've historically had a really strong CSGO team, and maybe if they can transition into Valorant as well. We've seen a lot of players who have a CSGO background having maybe a bit more of an advantage coming into Valorant as opposed to like Overwatch and other games. So I'm really interested to see how this game goes.
Yeah, the aiming and other such things are very transferable skills, but obviously if you at home are looking to keep on getting good, we have a couple of interviews if you look back through our previous broadcasts, but also just get on that grind. It's still the start of the game. There's lots of time to catch on up with these players of other games. Right, so we should hopefully be getting into the game as soon as possible. We're just waiting for all the players to ready on up in the lobby. Who do you think is going to take it, Koopsy?
To be honest, I do feel like, as I just said before, with Warwick being a historically really strong side, especially with the CSGO, I do think it's going to go to Warwick. However, it is early days. It's hard to tell with a game like Valorant as it is in closed beta. I'm hoping to see Raze come through. I'm really excited to see Raze, especially with the paint shells, which may or may not be slightly overtuned. I'm hoping to see some Cypher as well. I really like how information focused this is. And the kit on Cypher I think is so good for like information gathering with the Sova as well. See if we see any like any of those practiced arrows. I saw a few of those yesterday. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how these teams perform.
I mean, got a little bit mixed up here. The Warwick versus Exeter game is game 2 tonight. It's Hull versus DMU.
I see.
Jumping on in. It's an easy mistake to make. But yeah, I mean, we're right on in here. Just restarted the game. Yeah, no. And well, I'm interested to see what the lineup. So Spooky, not sure which side is Hull. Just want to try and get some clarification on that. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see if Zeta is a player that I've kind of watched over the last couple of days. Definitely a player who can pop off when it's necessary. So keep an eye on them on the red side. Hull is on defense, apparently. Sorry. Hull on defense, DMU on that offense.
I also saw Spooky pop off with Cypher yesterday. I'm hoping to see some more Cypher gameplay, which really pops off again today.
Well, we're going to see a lot of players moving towards the B site right now. Spooky trying to keep those players back in hooker, but there's a push up long as well, and he's going to get swarmed in just a second. So much utility just invested on into them. We'll see many players rotating. Everybody is on this B site. An advantage right now for the defenders. They have got that man advantage, but now with the spike down, things could get a little bit difficult. Hunter is looking to move on through, but so much utility in the way of making any big plays here. They have got the player advantage though, and this is a big opportunity to find those last couple of frags. They take down the Brimstone, and that is a good start for Hull.
Excellent start there. Definitely good use of the Omen smokes. Brimstone smoke's been very effective as well. Just taking control of that bunker on the B side is so strong to peek around there. Good stuff by Hull so far. Yeah,
Brimstone has really shone in a lot of these more organized situations, those smokes and being able to place them so easily without really putting yourself under any danger. Very strong ability, isn't it?
100%, yeah. I want to see how the utility really impacts the game as we keep going through here.
Together.
Also, we are going to see on the red side, there is 2 extra smokes as there is a Omen on the other side compared to having the Sova. Going to see how information decides the match.
Yeah, it's kind of getting information or denying information. Obviously, smoke's stopping you from really seeing on through. And also kind of preventing those pushes. So potentially a little bit better on that defensive side. Magfit going to use that Roomba to push on up, looking for a tap with that Ghost, but no one's pushing them as of yet. And quite defensive positions. Starting to get aggressive is the Brimstone. Magfit almost goes down there to 3 HP.
Good use of the wall there, just to rotate now.
Big heal as well coming in from the Sage on the offensive side, able to put them back up to full. So Macfit still able to bring the pain, but it's Spooky who finds a big 3k here as DMU get completely ripped apart. There's only one left. Jammy Dodger will finish that one on off, and really nice play there by the University of Hull with a strong start to this map.
Spooky, excellent play there. Again, as I said earlier, Spooky's really one to watch for, especially with his Cypher gameplay. Really popped off yesterday. I'm really looking forward to seeing good things from him. The 4k there, excellent stuff.
Spectre. I mean, the one thing which is the big difference between this game, I feel, is that these not full buy weapons, not the rifles, sorry, are actually relatively strong. And I think the Spectre is definitely something which you really can't underestimate.
Definitely, 100%. We have seen really particularly strong pistol rounds as well, but the submachine guns are definitely something to be messed with. The Spectre spray is a little bit easier to control than some of the assault rifles.
Usually can. We see Sovereign holding A long there. Sorry, B long there. B kills does go on down, and we see a rotate coming out pretty early on from Jammy Dodger here. Doesn't want to let that B site fall. A lot of pressure onto it early.
I think it's definitely a good choice to rotate around here now.
Yeah. Paint shell's not quite landing towards Jammy Dodger. Jammy Dodger using that slow orb to try and stop the push, as they do manage to finish off Macfit, but this Spike hasn't actually pushed on in a lot of utility. They know Jammy Dodger has rotated. Another one has as well. This is a big opportunity for De Montfort to pick up their first round.
Definitely, as we see them rotate through here, we're looking to push onto the A side again. It looks like those rotations are going to be very slow. They're not quite sure where they are just yet.
Here doesn't get the spray down. Sovereign waiting around the corner, sorry, pushes around the corner, takes them down, was expecting the lurk. And now, with A-site control, with an advantage in terms of numbers, De Montfort are closer than ever to finding this round. But when Jammy Dodger intercepts the bomb plant, this is a big opportunity. Smokes do go down. Hunter doesn't find the spray. It's Zeta who'll finish that off. But Jammy Dodger currently on that 3k. You need to be careful. Spooky looking to push on out, but he's blocked by the wall. Heaven completely useless in this situation. Jammy Dodger gets the spray, but the run it back from Sovereign means he is going to remain alive. The flash comes on in. The spray is still there. An ace for Jammy Dodger. And University of Hull clutch out that round.
Excellent use of Sage's kit there. Really lucky that the Phoenix just kind of wasn't in the ideal position there to land that flash, as Jammy knew where the Phoenix was and could have just sprayed down there to get the ace. Impressive play from Hull there. Definitely good use. We also do see now Jammy has the res up in comparison to Zeta, so we could definitely see a possible flip in a round. That res is such a strong ultimate ability. We also see Spooky also has the Cypher ultimate up for that information gathering that I was talking about earlier. I think ult difference may even decide this next round should they decide to use them.
And that's the thing. There's two different economies in this game. There's the creds and there's the ultimate. Being able to properly use those ultimate orbs as well is very impactful.
100%. Control of those ults is really, really important. Like, as you said before, ult economy can be so important in this game. Alongside gun economy, kind of a combination we see there between Overwatch. I think it's a lot more important than people give it credit for, the ultimates here, especially the res from Sage, such a strong ability. As long as you have that cover to make sure that res is safe, as there is a bit of a time delay. So if you are caught whilst being resed, you won't have your gun out straight away. So you could just waste that ultimate if you're not careful.
Yeah, you certainly have to be very prudent when you're using these ultimates, especially both of the resurrects. You have to be careful with run it back, for example, on Phoenix, as we are watching Sovereign here, as you could easily go down as soon as you recall. A big opportunity for De Montfort here. They want to try and rush into the site, but there hasn't been a rotate as of yet by University of Hull. Sovereign checking the corner. No one's waiting there. They are at the back of the site. They hear the shots. The slow orb goes down. Macfit doesn't find the kill, it's going to be their teammate who finds those frags. And this is a good start by University of Hull as they find a couple here, meaning that this push from DMU is completely gutted.
Excellent. It does look like Demont are going to commit to this A push. However, we're not seeing any rotations as of yet.
Some big flanks coming in. The Sova pushing on up. B kills, looking for something, but he doesn't even get the opportunity as his team just rips on through. Wretch peeks out wide, takes down MacFit, and University of Hull starting off some good holds.
A flawless round, yeah, and they managed to hold on to Jammy Dodger and Spooky's ult. Definitely, I think Demont really should have rotated away from A there when they lost those picks. Too much information was gathered by Hull there. I really think they should have rotated, but we'll see if they looking like they're gonna go for a B push up through mid here. But we'll see where the spike goes.
They are going to be buying up at least on a couple of these players. Luda's able to pick up that Phantom. It's a really nice skin, actually. I haven't seen all of the skins in this game yet because not everyone's really been picking them up. But the Prisma one is pretty nice. The smokes coming on in mean you yet again can't push. And University of Hull doing a really great job in denying a lot of the potential activity that DMU were looking for.
Exactly. We also saw there that Demont's Brimstone also just stopped the push up through mid there. It does give Demont more time to reposition and try and information gather.
Oh, good shooting there from Sovereign, able to heal back up as well. Phoenix definitely very good in terms of opening up sites and keeping themselves relatively healthy. A nice jump through and spray Spooky finishes off Zeta as they try and move on in. And now no one is coming near Hooker while Spooky is here.
Right, it looks like Demont are not quite sure. The Omen is still lurking in mid. Looks like it is going to rotate around to the A site. Spooky might be able to catch them as they push around here. It looks like they are going to commit to this. But they will have to wait for that Sage Wall to come down first.
It is 4 versus 3 on that site, but a good pick early on from Hunter means it's 3v3. RCE will get the refrag, but continuing to move on the site will be difficult. Luda trying to pre-fire some of these angles, but no one is waiting behind there. The wallbang doesn't come on through. We see ultimates expended as MacFet is looking to push onto the site, but good spray down from Wretch. Finds 2. That's a big opportunity. Does get taken down. It's RCE versus 2. Nice opportunity for them to really pick this on up, but they do not have the spike. Only 10 seconds left on the clock. They have to make the big play now, but unfortunately, overextends. Jammy Dodger finishes them on off, and Hull 5-0 up.
Definitely one of the closest rounds we've seen so far. Unfortunately, the Brimstone there just wasn't quite enough and does get picked out there. Possibly if he had the spike earlier, he may have been able to plan, and Demont could have managed to control the site a little bit better. But it's just not enough. Against Jammy Dodger, we see is currently 10-0 with the ultimate available. Definitely a Sage to be worried about, especially in some of these aggressive pushes. We'll see how they push now. It looks like Demont is going to commit to another A push. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, they're looking to just try and use these pistols, get a couple of those strikes. You're talking about how deadly they can be. But with the utility keeping them back, with the fact that they're not able to effectively use their own, things can get a little difficult. Luda is looking to make an entry, but the paint shells send them right on back. 36 HP.
Like we were saying earlier, those paint shells are so strong. You've really got to be careful not to be caught out by those, especially if your Sage doesn't have heal. So I think it's a good choice to rotate around through there. Spooky gets a pick on MacFed. Beautiful.
Yeah, really nice opportunity using the information which their abilities really garner them. Good spray there from Hunter, takes down Zeta, and University of Hull remain in the lead. The Spike is trying to push on via main, but Hunter will shut that one on down. The short player, RCE, will finish him on off, but it's 2 versus 3. The rotates come on in. Cypher still waiting back towards the B side, only now rotating. Jammy Dodger does more than enough work, finishes off Sovereign, and now it is that final 2v1. RCE stuck in the position again, but just can't do anything.
Unlucky again. Just as we saw with the last round, it ended up with RCE in a 2v1 once again, but it's just not quite enough. Really got to be careful there. We do have a few more ults coming up. We are going to be coming up on Omen ult soon. See if we can get some interesting flank behinds with the TP. Could potentially allow Demont to plant early. And have you seen those sneak rotations? You could fake one site and then the Omen can TP to another site to really kind of confuse the enemy. I think that's really what Demont should try and aim for here, if they're just not as confident being able to out-aim the University of Hull here.
Yeah, and you can also kind of bring those rotations, use the teleporters here on bind. It's a good opportunity. Spooky is waiting in this position, gets the spray, finds one, finds two, also takes down the Phoenix in that run it back. The utility used heavily. Hunter finds two frags with their own ultimate, and University of Hull, yet another shutout round as Spooky finds a through again.
Beautiful play by Spooky there. I mean, by just having that Cypher placed around the mid lane can gather so much information. Of course, we saw Hunter come through with the double kill with the Brimstone ult. But it's just because Spooky can gather so much information from that area that you know that he's maybe said to Hunter, you can ult, there's people mid. It's a guaranteed kill. Like, some people really waste the Brimstone ult sometimes. They think, they're planting on a site, I'll just throw it out. But it really can be effective, especially if you have that information. It's so important.
It's all about coordination, and very akin to other shooters that we were talking about prior. Valorant is a very team game. You need to be able to be on the same wavelength. And I think right now, University of Hell, other than the fact that they are fragging out, Jammy only just died in a couple of rounds prior. Jammy will also find a frag onto RCE. It has been the way that they've been playing together that's really netted them these rounds.
100%. We have seen very, very good team play between Hull, and the synergy between the kits and different agents they picked up. Zeta is going to go down to Hunter there, caught with the wall out. They are going to lose the spike.
That's a big mistake, and now no longer having the spike, at least Luda finds a frag. Will keep things at least somewhat stable, is able to pick up that spike yet again, and it looks like a rotate towards the B site right now. They're looking for long, so they do have Sovereign already pushed up to that position, looking to try and find that headshot with the Marshal. Does see the Sova cross, but doesn't hit the shot, unfortunately, trying to wallbang, but it'll be B kills finally falling as Sovereign, third time's the charm, only has one bullet left in the clip, will be reloading, but Spooky is watching this position already, gets the double spray down, does go down to the Roomba, cleaned on up, and now it is 1 versus 2. Sovereign is the only enemy member, is gonna get that plant, but still has the Marshal, didn't pick up any of those rifles as he moved into this position, and now might just get punished for it. Sovereign looking to pick up the rifle, does actually manage to get it. This is a big opportunity. Gets the spray down, takes down Jammy Dodger. Will he be able to net the first round for DMU? He's looking to heal himself on up. Doesn't know where this raise on is. Sprays, but Wretch finds the frag. And that will be University of Hull finding their 8th round.
So close there. Again, good use by Sovereign of the wall there to heal up. However, when you do plant in that enclosed bunker, it's really easy for the team pushing on to know where you are. Honestly, I think if they planted outside and then maybe tried to bait around the middle of the point, it would have been a little bit more successful there. But again, good attempt by Sovereign considering his HP. Really good attempt there. Looks like we are going to see them moving towards B now.
I think changing things up is a good idea. I mean, obviously it hasn't been working so far.
100%, yeah.
They've definitely been showing up. They've gotten very close in a couple of rounds, but it hasn't quite been enough as Hull have stood strong and stalwart. As we do see that recon arrow coming out early from the Sova of University of Hull.
Definitely. We do have Spooky again for Hull in position with that mid lane with the spy cam. He will be looking, but it doesn't see anything so far as Demon are pushing up long here.
McFit does find the spray, headshot through the wood there. Spooky is the last remaining player on B. Gonna get reinforcements in just a second, but has to find this opening frag. It's gonna be really important. As always, he delivers, finds 2, finds 3, finally dies to McFit, using the showstopper, putting an end to his reign of terror. Now it is 2 versus 3 as it's going to be an attempted site retake. Nice spray there from Max that finds the headshot onto Jammy Dodger. However, the spike goes down as Hunter pushes on up. This is a big opportunity, but it isn't quite enough. Macfit finds the spray, but Hunter will be the one to finish it on off, and University of Hull continue their dominance.
So close by Macford there. 4 kills come out of him, along with the ultimate as well. So close. But it's just not enough against Hull's dominance here so far. Their economy is in so much of a better position right now that unless Demon's smart with what they buy, I think it's going to continue to be a stomp. They really need to change things up here.
Yeah, we're not far from the side switch. And I mean, that could be a breath of fresh air for them. But if they lose the pistol, well, they just lose the game. And they have to have such a clean defense of their own. DMU will really have to step up their play. Because right now, the fragging has been a real problem for them. Players like Jammy, like Wretch, like Spooky have all really shown up in this match. And
100%.
I can't say the same for many people from De Montfort, as they've already lost a player. Duda looking for a way to entry. The spray will be there from Sovereign as he just taps multiple times to finish off Hunter. This is a nice opportunity, but unfortunately the utility will finish off Jammy Dodger. Does get the trade, however. Wretch sneaking on through this smoke. Catches Macfa off guard. Goes down to 40 HP, but is still alive and kicking. Looking to find a kill through spraying smoke. But it'll be a peek from RCE, which finishes them on off. Now, Spooky up here in heaven. Gets the spray down. Takes down Luda. Continuing to try and get that wallbang. Doesn't quite find it. Knows exactly where this last player is. They're playing on the boxes, but just waiting for support from the Sova. As I say that, goes to the wide peak, takes down RCE, and that'll be the round yet again for Hull.
Exactly that. RC again in a 2v1 position, but against Spooky's aim, it's just not going to be enough. We did see that Demont managed to get a plant down that time, but Spooky's aim here is a little bit unbeatable, I think. Really popping off here. Hasn't needed to use his ult at all from this complete dominance of Hull. It looks like the Demont is going to be able to full buy this time. It looks like Sovereign will have I believe that's an operator. Let's see if they can possibly grab a pick down long. As it is one shot kill to the body with the Valorant's equivalent to the AWP from CS. So let's see if Sovereign can find anything with that.
And Sovereign has been fragging quite well in this game. Is 10 and 10, which obviously isn't the greatest score, but considering their team is down 10 rounds, you know what? I'm willing to cut him a little slack. Has been performing quite well, especially entry fragging here on long. This has been the opportunity for him. Did actually swap out that operator and now has a Vandal in their totem. No one has it. It's going to be popping the run it back, looking to move on in with the backup from the rest of their team. Takes down B kills, gets the spray onto Spooky. This is exactly the opportunity you need to have. Sovereign does go down, but isn't out for the count, as the run it back will allow them to be right back in the action. Macfit pushes, takes down Wretch as they move into yet another position. Jammy Dodger tries to find the spray, does find Zeta. The scores are evened up. It's 2 versus 2 as Sovereign falls as well. Hunter and Jammy versus Macfit and RCE here. Will Macfit and RCE be able to pull it out for the for the first round that they'll be able to pick on up? Hunter looking to get aggressive, but Jammy Dodger moving in via hooker. Can't see anyone. The smokes have come on in. They need to find that spike. They need to get the defuse. Sprays down, takes down RCE. They don't know where this final player is. Waiting in the wings, gets the spray. Does deny the plant. Hunter goes down. This could just be it. Macfit dies to Jammy Dodger, but I don't know if they have enough time. It's looking like they just about don't. And De Montfort University pick up their first round.
So close there. Almost had that that defuse there, but Hull just a little bit of a communication error, I think, there. When Hunter went for the defuse, Resh just was not there to cover. But again, it's good to see that Demont now have a round. I'm excited for this comeback. I'm excited for this comeback.
I think it's going to be hard, but they definitely have it in them. I know that some of these De Montfort players can show up when the time really comes to. Interesting to see a couple of players picking up Guardian right now. I've actually been really liking the Guardian as a DMR. How do you feel about it?
Definitely, considering it is only 2,700 credits, and it does I believe 65 damage a shot. As long as you don't forget that it is single shot, I think it can be such an effective weapon. However, a few times in my matches as well, I've forgotten it is single shot and kind of been stood there with my pants down and just been absolutely blown up when I think I have a Phantom.
It is unfortunate. You need to be a little bit aware. And I mean, De Montfort definitely aware of the current situation they're in. They're busting this ultimate out. They're going to keep that player advantage that they now have. Not for long, however, as Hunter on this flank does manage to find a frag. He's going to turn, finds one, doesn't quite find the second, but found a lot of damage as well. Zeta will be healing on up and should be A-okay to go for this next fight, but it is now 3 versus 3, and they've used a lot of utility already. 2 ultimates up for Hull, and they are going into a good position right now, as they do at least have one player on the site looking for the retake.
100%. Boombot just catches out Wretch there.
Yeah, nice play. B kills trying to use their own ultimate to finish things on off. The spike goes down. Spooky looking to play out wide and find a frag. B kills with this operator. He's going to struggle to find anyone and play anything sort of dynamic. Spooky finds the spray down onto Zeta at range. The last two players are moving around as we do see B kills get taken down, looking for an opportunity to get that defuse, baiting it out, playing back and forth. I don't know how much time they have. They don't have any. As McFit will finish off Spooky, and it's ended the half 10-2.
It's unlucky. It was a good attempt by Spooky there to try and use the double cages there to block off the defuse. Goes for the feint. However, just not having enough information means that he will end up facing two of the Demont players just 2v1 there. Really unlucky, but let's see how they do manage to flip it the other side. I do definitely think that this map is defender-sided, so let's see how the dominant University of Hull can manage now that they are on the defending side.
See, a couple of players. What's your starting pistol round by?
For me, it would be the Ghost. I think it's, as someone that has a CSGO background, and I assume some of these players and some people in chat would also have a CSGO background, it feels the most similar to me to the USP. So it's almost a comfortable pickup for me to just jump onto, and I feel that's currently the best. I also like the Frenzy. However, if you are against multiple enemies, it can be a bit risky going with that fully automatic pistol.
Dude, it can. We're going to see the cam from Spooky being more than enough. I mean, a couple of these players opting for light armor and just a bit of utility instead, and that's coming in handy right now as they are able to set up a couple of these positions. Spike will go down, and University of Hull starting off well. Sovereign trying to find those shots, but takes a lot of body damage. Will find the frag onto Spooky here. A nice opportunity. The ducking peak does actually manage to not quite get taken down as a result. However, McFit will finish off the job. It is 1 versus 2, looking for the retake, looking for the defuse. Doesn't know where these two remaining players are. There is one just over the way. Will be able to find them. However, waiting in the wings, you need to be careful, because right there, you can see it. Jammy will get the shot, and DMU lose the round. University of Hull will pick it on up, and they are just 2 rounds away from taking the entire map.
It was so close there. As you see, Demont did actually manage to get a headshot, but just ran out of ammo towards the end there. It definitely would have been a win for Demont there, I think, provided they had time to defuse the spike. So close now. We may even see it possible. I reckon Demont can come back. I reckon they can do it. Again, standout performance so far by Sovereign. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of some other players and see if we can see if they can pop off here. I got faith. I got faith.
You've got to have faith, especially in this situation. Down 9 rounds, you've got to have something, I swear. Jammy Dodger finds the frag onto RCE, and again, University of Hull open up explosively, looking to try and push on in. McFit eats a lot of damage as they try and retreat. The smoke wasn't enough. Zeta in this position. I love the Bucky and looking to put it to good use here. Zeta pushes on up, finds the shot into the back, doesn't quite finish off the Brimstone. That's so sad for them. And now it's Sovereign versus 5 players.
Sovereign against the world here. Can he do it? He obviously doesn't have that ultimate available, so it's going to be very, very difficult to retake this back. Yeah. Considering that Hull also do have the spike planted. I think this would be a save here if I was Sovereign, but it looks like he is going to go for it.
I mean, he has a Marshall, that's basically it. He hasn't got much to his name. I don't know if it's worth saving.
Yeah, it's not going to happen there. Immediately taken out by Hunter. It's so difficult, especially if all 5 players have the point locked down like that. But as you said, he did only have the Marshall, fairly cheap gun. But Sovereign is going to go for that and will be punished for it. We see Luda with one of the shotguns here. How do you feel about the shotguns, Rock?
So half the time I use them, I'm like, man, these things are busted. If you're playing them in short to medium range, within what they consider to be short to medium range, they are actually very strong. I think the shots we saw from Zeta are not characteristic of the Bucky. Normally in that situation, you'd be finding a frag onto Hunter. They can kill people very, very quick. You just have to be oh so careful. Spooky pushes up a little bit too far. RCE with a good punish here. Playing in that teleporter will actually probably go down. Does quite get finished. But bought a lot of time for their team. And the rotates to B are coming in right as we speak.
Exactly, yeah. As we... Oh, beautiful pick by Sovereign there. A lovely dink. As we just saw that when I was talking about the paint shells being overtuned. really just saw that. However, Jammy will take out Luda now to a 2v3. Spike has gone down.
Monfort have to win this. If they don't, their dreams are over. B kills though, and Jammy Dodger will find those frags to end out the match. And well, 13-2 is a pretty respectable scoreline for University of Hull.
That is incredible. I mean, if we think independently of team skill and we just look at the compositions, we can see that with Hull's composition, with like I said, with the Cypher and the Sova, I was really talking about this information gathering. It's so strong, and I think independent of player skill, it really shows how effective the teamwork is between Hull and how they've managed to use those agents as kits effectively just to be able to dominate. And Spooky will be the match MVP.
Indeed, really bringing out that average combat score. Had some massive 4 to 3Ks in those defensive rounds, just finding big spray downs with weapons like the Spectre, which can be oh so effective. In general, though, Hull with a pretty standout victory. They dominated.
100%.
Let's not sugarcoat it.
Definitely, we saw dominance the way there. Jammy in second and Spooky on top. Like I said, I saw it yesterday with Spooky's dominant Cypher gameplay. And of course, Sage Res is so strong, but a standout performance from the players of Hull. Maybe they have. I'd be really interested to know what kind of gaming background these players come from. As if maybe Hull come from more of a CS:GO background, and maybe Spooky and Jammy have played those games before. To really kind of see how much, because obviously we're in so early stages with Valorant. It's really hard to call what stuff's going to be strong. Obviously, I said already, Raze is ridiculously overtuned. But in these highly coordinated team environments, information gathering is so important. And I think that really showed with the teamwork coming out from Hull there and how they managed to coordinate and effectively win the game in a large stomp, definitely.
Yeah, we've only really seen Pugs for the most part more scrappy games rather than proper team play like we've finally seen from some of these universities. We are going to go to a short break as we will be setting up for that second game of the night. That is Exeter finally versus Warwick. And hopefully that should also be a fantastic game.